Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Just a drop or two tonight, but the severe threat returns tomorrow. We'll look at what time to expect the worst. Kim?
Horror in Brighton. Police now say a 5-year-old girl was the victim in an apparent murder-suicide.
But we're going to begin here at 5 with a Detroit schools employee barred from the school grounds amid allegations of sexually assaulting a student. Glad you're with us today at 5. There are a lot of questions surrounding this case, but Detroit Public Schools confirming an employee is no longer allowed in the high school building of East English Village Prep.
It all happened yesterday with a robocall being immediately sent to parents. Rod Maloney is live at the school tonight. And Rod, are Detroit police now getting involved?
Well, that's what the school district is saying. We're still trying to sort that out. But, you know, it's one of those situations where no school district wants to have this happen, to have to tell parents about an employee getting escorted out of the building. And yet that's exactly what the robocall told parents in a very troubling voicemail last night.
As a result of an allegation of sexual misconduct with an East English Village student that allegedly occurred outside of school hours and off campus, Mr. was removed from the campus today.
Much to the joy of Donna Kimbrough, who claims she called the school administration in January about an employee saying,
"You got a predator in your school that's messing around with these little young girls that go there."
This, she says, after her daughter told her about a friend's predicament.
And she told me that one of her girlfriends was assaulted by him, sexual assaulted. And she was scared to tell her mother, so she talked to me on the phone and told me what happened.
There are many unanswered questions in this case, though. We're uncertain what job the employee had, whom the robocall did name. Although the district says the assaults did not happen on school grounds or on school hours, Kimbrough disagrees. The robocall went on to say,
"The Detroit Police Department is conducting a thorough investigation of the allegations."
And the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office also said that. But the Detroit Police Department is puzzled because it says it has no complaint filed, no name of this employee, and no officers were sent to the school yesterday to escort anyone out of the building. Donna Kimbrough was also angry at the school administration, believing it dragged its feet.
Yes, because it could have been my child.
And so where do we go from here? Detroit Police Department is looking to get some clarification from the school district about this employee, who this person is, and actually get a police report, because they say they don't have one of those right now, and you can't get the legal questions or the legal process of even arrest underway until you have a report. So we'll have to follow up to be sure. Back to you.
Yeah, there are quite a few discrepancies in the details of the story, Rod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're still trying to sort out what this person did. Donna Kimbrough said she thinks it was a hall monitor, but we don't know what that is. We also don't know if it was more than one girl or just the one case that the district is talking about. A lot of questions, a lot of things we have to look into as the days go forward.
Yeah, more Rod. Police in Brighton now say a mother sedated, then strangled her 5-year-old daughter before taking her own life in an apparent murder-suicide.
Horrendous story that happened inside a home on North 2nd Street, which is near Whitney Street. The timeline here, though, rather tricky because investigators believe their bodies may have been there for perhaps days. Larry Spruill live with the newest information we've learned, in fact, just in the last 30 minutes or so. Larry.
Good evening, David and Kimberly. We have that new information just into our newsroom, and police say that her name is Melissa Partey. They say that she did all of this because she was depressed, and that she also poisoned her daughter and then she strangled her. She says that she was afraid of losing her daughter. Brighton police officers back at this house Tuesday afternoon, where they are calling it a tragic scene.
Oh, I was just sick.
Sick and just troubling news, says Linda Fox. She lives just around the corner from this home on North 2nd Street. Police say 38-year-old Melissa Partey suffered from depression and anxiety, and she was scared of losing her child. She killed her daughter and then shot herself with a single gunshot to the head with a .38 revolver.
When you see a little child, it's taken, it's just heart-wrenching.
Police showed up to the home to do a welfare check after the father was concerned when the mother of his daughter did not show up to do a custody exchange. Officers saw the woman's car in front of the home. The landlord let them in, and that's when they found both the mother and daughter dead. Police say preliminary autopsy reports suggest the mother strangled the daughter. Police also say it looks like this all happened days ago.
I can't fathom that. You know, I'm a mother myself and grandkids and kids, my grandkids are, well, 6, you know, just can't fathom.
And that seems to be the same thing a lot of neighbors say. They just cannot believe that this happened. Meanwhile, police say this is still an early part of the investigation. We're live tonight. Larry Sproul, Local 4.
Boy, Larry, we mentioned earlier, police said the daughter was sedated. What do we know about that?
Well, Devin, according to the police press release that just came out, they said that she mixed something in her drink, some type of pills into the little daughter's drink, and then that's when she also strangled her as well, Devin.
Such a horrendous story, and again, apparently a mental health issue sitting at the center of it. All right, Larry. All right, now the news that is developing right now, the sheriff's deputy who allegedly failed to act during the Parkland school shooting has been arrested and now faces the possibility of life in prison.
Right. Prosecutors have charged Scott Peterson after he did not go inside Stoneman Douglas School while the shooting that killed 17 people was in progress. Peterson faces 11 charges, including child neglect and perjury. He faces the possibility of life in prison if he's convicted. Bail was set at $102,000. One adult and one child were taken to the hospital in serious condition after being hit by a car in Lapeer. You can see the damage to the car there. The Lapeer County Sheriff's Office says a group of people were walking after dark on Pepper Mill Road near Imlay City Road. Deputies say that's a narrow road without sidewalks and that the group was walking in the street. The driver, who did not see the group, hit 4 people, seriously injuring a 27-year-old and a 3-year-old. Deputies do not believe the driver was impaired or speeding. Some tense moments in Ecorse this morning as police and the SWAT team responded to a barricaded situation.
Police tell us it may have been a domestic incident at the heart of it. No confirmation, though. The man was arrested. This started at 7:30 this morning at a home on Josephine Street. Ended up being resolved by noon. No injuries reported. We await word on what charges the man might face. Meanwhile, in Dearborn, a second barricaded situation had police busy this morning after a man locked himself inside a home on Manor Street. Happened around 8:30. Police were able to bring the man out in handcuffs by around 10. We are not yet certain why it escalated to the point of a standoff.
Okay, I'm over here with Ben now. Temperatures are on the rise, but that also means a chance of rain and storms are on the rise, too.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
We do, exactly. I mean, even today, we didn't have the sunshine, but we still got temperatures into the 70s. Tomorrow, that's when that thunderstorm threat starts to roll in, and you can see that green shade here on our severe risk. That's the marginal risk, or level 1, the lowest on the scale. It's basically for tomorrow afternoon and evening, and it's just about everybody that we're going to be watching for those strong storms. Tonight, there may be some activity on 4 Live radar, but it's pretty light stuff. There's just a little sprinkle starting to roll into Lenawee County. So if we see some showers tonight, it's most likely going to be in the south zone and probably between now and 6 p.m. Then we'll be left with mainly clouds, but a pretty mild night compared to those 40s that some of us woke up to this morning. We'll look at your lows in your 4-zone forecast and another record on the Great Lakes, and this is a big one. We'll check that out in a few minutes. Devin?
President Trump wrapping up his visit to London after holding a news conference with the British Prime Minister Theresa May, at least Prime Minister for a few more days. Susan McGinnis has the latest, including reaction from lawmakers concerned about some of the comments he made in London.
Well, the president is getting the royal treatment while in London, but with the pomp comes the protests.
How are you? The famous baby Trump flying again atop London today was not the only unflattering caricature greeting the President of the United States.
I'm a very stable genius.
Protesters took to the streets by the thousands to rally against the President's visit, although he had a different count of the turnout.
And it was a very, very small group of people put in for political reasons, so it was fake news.
After meeting with outgoing British Prime Minister Theresa May, the two put past acrimony aside and reaffirmed the special U.S.-UK relationship.
Shared democratic values.
Our special relationship is grounded in common history.
The president committed once Britain leaves the European Union to a deal on trade.
I say probably 2 and even 3 times of what we're doing right now.
Trade with Mexico also came up. The president asked about Republican lawmakers considering blocking his plan to impose tariffs on Mexico.
I don't think they will do that. I think if they do, it's foolish.
Some hope to convince the president to back off his threat to slap tariffs on goods from Mexico starting Monday if Mexico doesn't stop undocumented migrants from crossing into the U.S.
There is not much support in my conference for tariffs, that's for sure.
It's going to hurt my farmers, to be very blunt with you, who have taken a beating already with this war with China.
In the midst of one protracted trade war with China, fears of another starting next week with Mexico.
Later this week, the president heads to Normandy, France for ceremonies commemorating the 75th anniversary of D-Day. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, Local 4.
All right, Susan, back here at home, the White House is directing the former communications director, Hope Hicks, and former deputy counsel, Annie Donaldson, not to turn over documents that have been requested in a House subpoena. The subpoena part of the committee's investigation into possible abuse of power by President Trump and members of his administration. So another battle shaping up over documents.
Indeed. All right, Defender Karen Drew has a special investigation that's caught the interest of state lawmakers. Karen.
She's 20 years old, autistic, and hurting herself.
She's had lacerations, black eyes, bruises.
You won't believe how the state of Michigan is reacting to her plea.
I suggest they do their job.
The defenders investigate, coming up.
All right, Karen, also these students getting a crash course in how to tell fact from fiction. We're going to reveal how a trick called lateral reading can help all of us spot dangerous misinformation online.
But first, Livonia police have an urgent warning for anyone planning to put their house up for sale. That story's next.
I'm a big believer in the power of words. One night at a book night in Royal Oak, I told them that my favorite word was sprocket. And a little kid said he liked the word rocket. And a little girl said that rhymes with my locket. Well, within 90 seconds, we came up with, I had a sprocket in my pocket. I locked it in a locket. I tightened it with a socket. I sent it off in a rocket. A couple of years later, I'm walking through a mall, and a guy walks up to me. He's now a teenager. And he repeats the entire rhyme to me. He remembered it. That's the power of words.